There are people who don't believe in God, and they have PhDs in quantum physics, and they know much more than all of us about their fields, and that knowledge is of no use to them. And there are people who don't know anything about quantum physics, but the little knowledge they have about this world is worth more than all PhDs in quantum physics without any spirituality. This is that point here. Tadhkirah, that benefits. So, both are beneficial, but what is the goal of knowledge? Tazkiyah. What is the goal of tazkiyah? That is the goal. The goal of knowledge is tazkiyah. As for knowledge that doesn't benefit, it becomes a hujjah against you. It becomes something against you. So, Ya Rasulullah, Ibn Maktoum was coming to you. Your interaction with him might have benefited him spiritually, or he would have learned something and that knowledge might have benefited him. You see the point here, right? So we learn from this, you have tazkiyah and you have tadhkirah. Another benefit that we gain from this is the real crime and the worst crime that any person can have is the crime of arrogance. And we know this from the Quran and Sunnah. Aba wastakbar, this is the sin of Iblis. And our Prophet ﷺ said, anybody who has 1 ounce of kibr in his heart shall not enter Jannah. And kibr is the worst crime because it causes you to commit every other crime. If you think you are better than other people, if you think you're better than the religion, if you think, a'udhu billah, you don't need God, well then what greater arrogance is that? Amma man istaghna. That's istaghna. Istaghna means he thought himself al-ghani. He thought himself, I don't need anything. And that's the biggest crime in our sharia. And the crime of Iblis was the crime of istaghna. Aba wastakbara. He had kibr. And this was the crime of Al-Walid and the crime of Umayyah ibn Khalaf and the crime of many of the leaders of Quraysh. Of the benefits we learn here as well is that the goal when we preach Islam, and this is technical and please don't misinterpret me, is not to convert. The goal is to convey. وَمَا عَلَيْكَ أَلَّا يَزَّكَّى. What business is it of yours if Al-Walid does not attain tazkiyah? Notice, وَمَا عَلَيْكَ أَلَّا يَزَّكَّى. Is it your job that he attains tazkiyah? Your job is to convey. Notice he didn't say tadhkirah, because it is our job to do tadhkirah. It is our job to give knowledge. It is our job to convey the message. But as for a person converting, is that in my hand? Is that something I have to do? And this is a big, big issue. If we understand it, actually our da'wah will become easier. Because a lot of people, when they make their goal to convert, firstly, they're willing to change the message in order to call people to convert. And we don't change the message. We have a product that we cannot modify. We are salespeople of a product. It doesn't belong to us. We are not allowed to modify. When you make your goal to convert somebody, you might say, oh no, that's not true about Islam, and it is true. Oh, actually Muslims don't believe that, and we do believe it, but you want to convert. Secondly, when you make your goal to convert, very quickly you will realize that it's a very difficult job, and you might lose hope when nobody or very few people convert. But when you realize, my job is not to convert, my job is to convey. إِنَّمَا عَلَيْكَ الْبَلَاغِ. Your job is balagh. It's not to make sure he converts, because it's not your power. إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. You do not guide the one whom you want to guide. Allah guides whomever He pleases. So this early Meccan surah is teaching the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Rasulullah, your heart should not be attached to the person's conversion. Yes, if somebody converts, we're happy. But the goal is not necessarily conversion. But my goal, we preach the message. وَمَا عَلَيْكَ أَلَّا يَزَّكَّى. Whoever doesn't want to accept, that's upon them, not upon me.